In less than 20 minutes, more than 1,000 people will be dead. Not because there weren't life preservers, not because there weren't fire hoses, but because every piece of safety equipment on board had already failed before the fire even began. June 15th, 1904. On the Lower East Side of Manhattan, summer arrives early. Tenement windows are open before sunrise. German is spoken more often than English. Mothers press white shirts and lace collars. Fathers carry picnic baskets wrapped in cloth. Children wait on stoops, restless, already dressed for a holiday. This is not a workday. It is the annual excursion of St. Mark's Evangelical Church. For many families, it is the only day of leisure they will afford all year. Their destination is a picnic ground on Long Island. There will be hymns, food, games, relief from heat and factory air. At the river dock, the vessel waits. The General Slocum stands 284 feet long, painted white, paddle wheel housing broad and squared. Built in 1891, she has carried passengers safely for over a decade. Federal inspection certificates hang in order. Life preservers line the railings in neat rows. Fire hoses hang coiled beside polished brass fixtures. Nothing appears unusual. By 9:30 a.m., more than 1,300 passengers have boarded. Most are women and children. Many of the men remain behind for work. Those who attend stand near the rails, smoking cigars, waving towards shore. A church band begins to play. The boat pushes north into the East River. The city recedes. And no one aboard knows that the safety equipment surrounding them has not been meaningfully tested in years. Federal inspection in this era is a ritual of paperwork. Steamboat inspectors are politically appointed. Certifications are renewed. Reports are signed. But equipment ages quietly. Cork inside life preservers absorbs moisture and crumbles into dust. Fire hoses stiff from disuse rot from within. Valves corrode. Pumps weaken. On paper, the General Slocum is compliant. In reality, it is fragile. Shortly after 10 a.m., as the vessel approaches Hellgate, a narrow, unpredictable stretch of the East River, smoke is seen drifting from the forward section of the main deck. At first, it is mistaken for steam. Then someone smells burning varnish. A crewman opens a door to a storage compartment. Flames snap upward along oil-treated wood paneling. Decorative fabric lining the ceiling catches almost instantly. The ship's upper structures are almost entirely wooden. Fire climbs fast through dry timber. Passengers turn toward the smoke uncertain. Some laugh nervously, others gather children. Crew members rush for the hoses. They attach one to a standpipe. When water surges through, the hose splits. Another is dragged across the deck. It bursts as well. A valve refuses to turn. Smoke thickens, heat presses outward. The captain, William Van Schaik, is informed. At first, he continues forward. To ground the vessel immediately along the rocky Bronx shoreline could damage the hull. To turn hard in the current at Hellgate risks losing control. He chooses to continue north toward a clearer stretch. Those minutes matter. On the upper deck, mothers tear life preservers from their hooks. They feel strangely light. One is fastened around a little girl. As the straps are tightened, flakes of cork fall loose onto the deck. Another woman pulls one free and squeezes it. It collapses in her hand. Panic does not begin with a scream. It begins with movement. Passengers shift away from visible flames. They crowd the port side. The vessel tilts slightly. The shift increases. Smoke rolls across the promenade deck. Stairwells become choke points. Children are lifted over shoulders. some are lowered over rails, then someone jumps. The East River at Hellgate runs strong and cold. Heavy dresses soak instantly. Many women cannot swim, others follow. On deck, the heat becomes unbearable. Flames race upward toward the pilot house. Within 20 minutes of the first visible smoke, the General Slocum is a burning mass drifting north. Rescue boats approach, but coordination lags behind chaos. By the time the captain steers toward shore and the hull is grounded near North Brother Island, more than 1,000 passengers are dead or dying from flame, from smoke, from drowning. The final count will settle at over 1,000. It becomes the deadliest single day disaster in New York City until 2001. But the fire is only the beginning of the story, because the General Slocum did not lack safety equipment, it lacked functional safety equipment, and the distinction triggers an investigation. In the days that follow, divers recover bodies from the river. Entire families vanish from city directories. The German American community of the Lower East Side, once one of the largest in the country, is devastated. Funerals stretch for weeks, but attention turns quickly to responsibility. Federal steamboat inspectors had certified the vessel repeatedly. Their reports described life preservers filled with cork, adequate hoses, functional pumps. Investigators now test the equipment. Life preservers are opened. Inside, cork disintegrates into powder. Hoses are connected under pressure. They rupture. It becomes clear that inspections had been superficial at best. At worst, they had been negligent. The Steamboat Inspection Service, responsible for oversight, operates within a system of political appointments. Inspectors often rely on visual confirmation rather than stress testing. Equipment is counted, not evaluated. Paper affirms safety. Reality is never forced to prove it. Public outrage grows. Who knew? Who signed the certificates? Why were the hoses never tested under pressure? Why were life preservers never opened to verify contents? In the end, only one man is convicted. Captain William von Schaik is charged with criminal negligence for failing to maintain fire drills and proper procedures. He is sentenced to prison. The federal inspectors who certified the vessel face little consequence. The system that allowed ritualized inspection remains largely intact. And for the families of St. Mark Evangelical's Church, justice feels incomplete. The disaster reshapes maritime law. Regulations tighten, inspection procedures are revised, safety standards improve, but reform follows catastrophe. It does not prevent it. In the years after, the German community that had filled the Lower East Side begins to disperse. Grief accelerates migration, institutions shrink, neighborhood identity fades. Today, few physical reminders remain. The river flows as it always has. Hellgate still churns, and the memory of General Slocum rests mostly in archives. But its lesson is modern. Systems rarely fail all at once. They weaken quietly. Inspection becomes ceremony. Compliance replaces scrutiny. Warnings are theoretical until friction arrives. On June 15th, 1904, friction arrived in the form of flame, and within 20 minutes, 1,000 lives were lost, not because there were no safeguards, but because no one had tested whether they worked. If you want deeper breakdowns like this, including cases that don't always make it to YouTube, the full discussions are available on the podcast. You can find it wherever you listen, link in the description. And if you're interested in the stories that shaped this city, the crimes, the collapses, and the comebacks, subscribe and join me.